Hello, fellow soul seekers. Christina here. I have had another fabulous week, and I wanted to hop on and just, of course, share with all of you. Um, at the SOS meeting on Wednesday, we had an amazing discussion about right and wrong. And it's so interesting because I just love the way that every area of my learning brings to me different pieces of the same mm, knowledge. As we all know, asking it is given, and I have shared with you all about my intention to deepen my spirituality and remain connected and in alignment with source as much as possible. And I am so grateful that I have been able to gather all of these different resources to assist me with that process. The SOS meeting was amazing. We had an amazing topic about right and wrong and really the illusion of all of that. I think that that comes really back down to ego uh, and judgment. Um, and it's fabulous to be able to be in a room and gather with people to have these kinds of discussions. Building upon that, Michael Mirdad had again another amazing talk this morning. And what's so cool is that I was actually speaking with a friend of mine a few days ago about the different the different ways, right, to seek enlightenment and or alignment, however you want to call it. You know, and it's just so cool because I had listened to a gentleman that was actually talking about Eastern philosophies and the practice of Buddhism, and he spoke about in this discussion. He was a scholar. He spoke in this discussion about the paths in which people take, right? And he spoke about the path of practice and devotion to practice. And he also spoke about um, a different way that some people choose to go with it. And a lot of times it is a solo inward journey that someone will do. Maybe even going out into solitude or into nature to seek that divinity within. And it's funny because he spoke of that as the pathway of the shaman. And as I've shared with you guys, I've been delving into the practice of chanting within the Buddhism, and I really questioned a little bit about uh, the idea of devoting to such a rigid and structured practice in that way, and whether that is the only way to go. And it was so cool that I heard this gentleman talk about this. And I was having this discussion with my friend a few days ago about the ideas and philosophies of that, and how I know that I can attain that connection. Um, Absolutely through the practice of chanting, but also through the inward practice of my own. And sure enough, Michael Mirdad spoke exactly about that. And he spoke about it in the idea of Eastern philosophy versus Christ consciousness and the teachings of both. And both are accurate ways, but they take two different paths to get there, right? And it just I think I'm gonna make it through this video without crying. I actually set that intention because I feel like that every time I'm on here, you guys see me crying, and so I think I'm gonna make it through without that today. But the cool part about that is that everything comes back to an inward knowing, and that inward knowing doesn't come from outside or mind knowledge. It comes from feeling it within. And every single teaching that I listen to and learn tells you about that. And I think that is why maybe I do cry often when I'm talking about all of this, because it comes to me powerfully enough that I feel it so strongly that the emotion just bubbles over. And so I guess I'm working on lifting the veil of my own judgment of that off. But I don't know. I was talking with my counselor this last week, and I was explaining to her about a process that I was working through with my spiritual coaching grid. And it's cool because then she brought up a cognitive thinking philosophy of working through a scenario. And it, Michael Mirdad spoke today about the different stages that we go through, and the healing path, and then the spiritual path, and then really the knowing that we already are, and and it's amazing to me how I've been walking through this and kind of stumbling along a little bit, but I think that's the best place to come from. And as he was talking about it, he was saying, to just surrender to knowing that you don't know, and allow God to filter through your being. I just I don't know if I am making sense here. I think I have all of these thoughts rumbling all at the same time. um, but Abraham Hicks and many of their talks speak about the fact that words don't teach. What teaches is feeling, and everything that they teach is about learning how to navigate your emotional mind, your emotions, allowing them to tell you whether you are in alignment or not, and you base it off of how you feel, right? And you can break it down into many emotions, but the bottom line is you feel good or you don't feel good, right? And you know the better you feel, the more in alignment you are. And the worse you feel, the more out of alignment you are. But the truth is that it's always there to be accessed, just like that, right? We just are under the impression that we're separate, and we're not. Um, we're not. And you know, I think that's the bottom line, is coming to that knowing. And I'll tell you, since I've been really working this, whether it be through a practice of chanting, or whether it be through a practice of meditation, or whether it be through me hearing different speakers, I've I've I, I have opened here in such a way that I can know that when I am close to being in alignment, I feel it here. And that for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with your chakras, this is your third eye. This is your sight, not your sight, but like clarity, uh, clarity. That's that. And so um, it's cool because I know that the more I can attain that, and the more I can feel that that chakra open, the more I know that I can access the clarity that I need in any moment. Um, it's funny. The other day I was out at an event, and I don't know what it was. The event was great, but something for me was not in alignment, and I found myself running to my car once I left. And it threw me into such a weird space. But I think it's okay to have that sensitivity enough to be able to say, you know what, that just wasn't a good match for me. And that's what, Ingrid, my spiritual coach, she's talks about that all the time, that's really, really what we need to get to, is understanding and knowing, right, the path that you're on, and whether you're in alignment with something or not, and having the ability to say that is not for me, and that's okay. And it's not a judgment. It's not a judgment about what something else is or isn't. It is just saying, that's not for me, this is for me. And having that clarity about you to be able to discern that for yourself and make those choices, um, for your own highest good. um, I love being able to have a way to just share thoughts, and I love inviting people to join in the idea with me. And that's really, I think, what this YouTube is all about. I'm hoping that maybe by my learning I can also share that with others, and that's really the idea, right? Is that we lift together. Because the truth is that we are all one. um, so I invite you to consider coming to the Ask and It Is Given book study. We meet again this Tuesday at 6:30. We are starting at the beginning. So chapter 1, Ask and It Is Given, the teachings of Abraham Hicks. Very excited to be embarking on that journey again for another year with anyone who is wanting to join us. The meetup group is called Ask and It Is Given, Practicing the Laws of Attraction. You can find it on Meetup. That will show you how to access the Zoom link prior to the meeting. And I really just love the fact that uh, there's really only one way um, to connect and align, and that is to go in, and the and inward journey. And so uh, as we connect out here, right, we we uh, we share in our journey from in here. So um, another glorious week, and another wonderful moment, and amazing alignment, and we'll chat again soon.